The 2026 T20 World Cup semifinals are officially locked. South Africa, New Zealand, England, three absolute powerhouses of the modern game. But if you only watch the live television broadcast, you would think these teams were completely incompetent. This tournament introduced the world to the skill meter, marketed as a state-of-the-art AI metric designed to quantify the exact power, control, and innovation of every player on the pitch. But within 2 weeks, a glaring, statistically impossible pattern emerged. The supercomputer didn't just fail to predict the semifinalists, it actively suppressed them. If you are a veteran from South Africa, a tactical innovator from New Zealand, or a World Cup champion from England, the broadcast algorithm downgraded your legacy. It is a catastrophic failure of data analytics. When an algorithm gives a veteran who just hit 63 off 35 balls a lower power rating than a player who got out for 1 run, it isn't measuring physics, it is measuring demographics. This isn't just a glitch in the system, it is data theater. It is a commercial algorithm designed to pander to a specific television market at the exact cost of global cricket literacy. Welcome to the fake math of the World Cup. Let's start with the most heavily scrutinized graphic of the entire tournament, the Ahmedabad flashpoint, India versus South Africa, the Super 8s. As the broadcast transitions to the middle overs, they drop the neon skill meter onto the screen. It directly compares the raw power of South African veteran David Miller against India's Tilak Varma. The algorithm assigns Miller a power rating of 64 out of 100. In the opposing column, Varma is awarded a near-perfect 97. Let that math sink in. A 33-point deficit. The data team is mathematically asserting that one of the most destructive finishers in the history of the T20 format is physically less capable of clearing the boundary than a player who is still establishing a permanent role in his national side. Look at the historical baseline. Miller entered the match with 137 T20 internationals, a career strike rate hovering around 140. He has a well-documented 16-year history of putting the ball into the top tier of the world's largest stadiums. Varma has a nearly identical career strike rate, but it is built on a fraction of the sample size. But the true catastrophic failure of the AI happened on the pitch that exact same night. South Africa collapses to 20 for 3. Miller walks to the crease. He violently dismantles the bowling attack, blasting 63 runs off just 35 balls. He operates at a massive strike rate of 180, rescuing his team to a highly competitive total of 187. Conversely, Varma completely struggles with the pace of the pitch. He is dismissed for just 1 run off 2 balls, continuing a severe tournament slump. The data team's supercomputer didn't just miscalculate, it generated a mathematically indefensible comparison. If a 64 power rating translates to a 180 strike rate in a high-pressure World Cup match, the scale is fundamentally broken. It is a commercial metric, designed to artificially inflate the perceived skill gap between local players and international legends. But the systemic failure of the AI isn't just about raw power. Let's look at tactical intelligence, the innovation metric. Enter New Zealand's Glenn Phillips. Phillips is globally recognized for actively trying to rewrite modern batting biomechanics. In modern T20 cricket, the ball turning away from the bat is statistically the hardest matchup to conquer. So, Phillips didn't just practice a reverse sweep, he spent 2 years training his central nervous system to become completely ambidextrous. In the domestic Super Smash, Phillips literally switched his stance to bat left-handed against left-arm spin. He completely dismantled the bowler's angles, hitting a massive 6 over extra cover while batting on the wrong side of his body. It was a flawless display of tactical, biomechanical evolution. Yet, during the 2026 World Cup, the broadcast's innovation scale consistently assigned Phillips a rating in the mid-70s. Meanwhile, younger domestic players hitting standard conventional lofted drives were routinely handed 98s and 99s. The algorithm rewarded aesthetic flair, but completely ignored a player who fundamentally altered his own physical mechanics to beat the game. The data model is entirely blind to actual tactical innovation. If a supercomputer cannot comprehend the sheer difficulty of a right-handed batter successfully hitting a left-handed 6 in a professional match, it isn't an innovation metric at all. It is a popularity contest disguised as sports science. By mathematically suppressing a Sene player who physically evolved his game, the broadcast actively ensures the local domestic stars look like the only true visionaries on the pitch. It is narrative conditioning, plain and simple. If the broadcaster claims these metrics are dynamic and powered by real-time AI, then how do you explain the Jos Buttler anomaly? England fought their way into the semifinals, but they did it while their captain endured one of the most statistically catastrophic tournaments of his entire career. Over the course of 7 matches, Buttler scored a total of 62 runs. He operated at an abysmal average of 8.85 and a strike rate barely hovering over 106. He even recorded his 29th career T20 duck against New Zealand. By every objective measure of sports science, he was entirely out of form and completely lacking control at the crease. Yet, when the broadcast flashed his skill meter on the screen, the algorithm awarded him a control rating of 96 out of 100. Let me repeat that. A player averaging under 9 runs a game was mathematically certified as having near-perfect control by the official tournament broadcaster. This proves exactly what the data model actually is. It doesn't read current form. It doesn't analyze live biomechanics or real-time pitch conditions. It assigns arbitrary, hard-coded numbers to big international names to maintain an illusion of prestige while simultaneously suppressing the rest of their squad. You cannot mathematically have a 96 control rating when you are having the worst tournament of your professional life. The system isn't measuring the live reality of the 2026 World Cup. It is just printing numbers to keep the casual viewer watching. It is a legacy glitch, a pre-programmed narrative completely divorced from the actual scorebook. Why would a multi-billion-dollar sports broadcast intentionally break its own math? The answer is simple: demographics. If we reverse engineer the black box of this AI, the underlying formula becomes entirely obvious. The broadcaster's rating equals a player's actual performance multiplied by 20% plus their domestic market popularity multiplied by 80%. In a television landscape completely dominated by one specific domestic viewership, there is a massive commercial incentive to mathematically inflate local talent, while systematically suppressing international legends from SENA countries. By constantly broadcasting 90+ ratings for unproven domestic players and 60 to 70 ratings for proven global veterans, the network is deliberately altering the baseline of what a casual viewer considers elite. This is the demographic ploy. When an audience is taught through neon graphics that a bilateral series player is mathematically more powerful than David Miller or more innovative than Glenn Phillips, the very definition of cricket skill is corrupted. The 2026 World Cup has proven that sports broadcasting has officially entered an era of data theater. The network is actively sacrificing global cricket literacy for local engagement metrics. But the machine failed. South Africa, New Zealand, and England didn't need a high-fidelity broadcast graphic to reach the semifinals. They just needed the pitch. The real skill scale isn't a rigged algorithm. It is the scorebook. And the math is undeniable. If you want the raw data and the tactical breakdowns that the broadcast refuses to show you, you know exactly where to find the Pavilion Files.